So I'm continuing reviewing my grounding circuit here for the boat and tracing wires, and in doing so you can see this patch panel. Okay, so this is a almost 50-year-old boat, and as it's changed owners over time and as technology has changed over time, things get added to the patch panel, and you can see behind me that it becomes more and more of a mess, and a lot of times you can't control what owners have done before you. All you can control is what you do with it once you got it. But today we just want to expand the grounding bus. You can see there is an expansion terminal right here, and this expansion terminal is maxed out. 4 connections is the maximum number, and that's already expanding an existing bus for grounding connections. I just want to add this to provide a little more capacity. This is my expansion bus for the grounding circuit. That is part of the process of cleaning this up. Fun stuff. So you can see in here, I've mounted a vertical bus bar, and you can see now I've got these 4 unterminated connections. One is a pigtail to the main bus over here. This is the main grounding bus. I'm going to change these spade connections out, make them ring terminals, and then connect the remaining wires onto this new grounding bus down here. Took the snippers and pulled off the old spade connection, and now I've got to get strippers. This guy, I got to strip the wire off. Here, the insulation's got to come off, and I got to leave enough of a tail so that we can connect a new terminal on there. Okay, there we go. Here is a 1/4 inch ring connection that's going over the top of that. Okay, we want to insert that nice and snug in there. So now we need the crimping tool. Here we go. There we go. Crimp that guy. Now, that should be nice and snug. We'll now use the heat shrink on that guy. Heat shrink that. There we go. That looks good. So you can see this newly mounted bus terminal with 1/4 inch terminals behind there. I've added these ring connectors onto this grounding wire. These are 10 gauge wires here, and I've now got to replace this pigtail, and then I'll just replace it. You see, because the length is too short to connect to this new bus, so I'll just create a larger length of wire, and then these guys will all be properly organized and connected. I've got this little piece of wire that I'm going to use as a pigtail for the grounding bus. This is 6 gauge wire. It's a little bit thicker than the 10 gauge or 12 gauge I was working with in here. So this wire, I'm going to use 6 gauge. I've got a stripper. Okay, so here we go. Now the other side. Okay, we got 2 sides that need lugs. I think this is 1/4 inch. Yep, and that will go here. So one end will have 1/4 inch, and here are my crimpers for 6 gauge, so you can see it. All right, and when you crimp this sized wire, once you crimp it on there, you have to also pay attention to the orientation of it, so that when you crimp the other side, that they are symmetrical, or they're supporting each other, but they're not topsy-turvy, so to speak. Here you go. So that is a 5mm connection, M5, I guess, and we're gonna now connect this to the other side, which will connect to the smaller bus, and then we'll reuse the same screw. Okay. Okay, I think I got her. Okay. So there you go. Bonding circuit is different technically than a grounding circuit because a bonding circuit is meant to connect all metal parts on a boat and keep them at the same relative potential, electrical potential. The idea is you don't want one piece of metal in the water all of a sudden acting like an anode and corroding away, because its negative potential is different than the remainder of the metal objects in the boat, and it's the weak link, and so it corrodes. We don't want that. We want all the metal parts kind of like all connected together so that they have the same general electrical potential. And in addition, that bonding circuit is also going to facilitate a path to ground. So we're going to connect our grounding bus to the bonding circuit so that the ground can actually get to ground. So that's the basic technical difference between bonding and grounding, but in practical terms, for the most part, it's the same circuit. So we're going to leverage that for our grounding today. Here's some heat shrink. We're going to grab our butane lighter. We'll shrink that down. And again, that's just to insulate it. Good. All right, we're going to tighten everything up, but now we've got that bus bar serving as the expansion. This is a 6-gauge wire with heat shrink on the ends of the terminals. And now those 3 terminals that were all connected together with a pigtail, they're now on this bus, and there's more expansion room here. So if we need more grounding bus, we've got the room for expansion. Okay, I'm convinced that grounding bus in here is not connected to this copper plate terminal right underneath it. And I feel like that is not great. I mean, it's not taking advantage of, grounding that is immediately available for that entire bus. So I'm going to connect it. The run from that bus bar down to that terminal is 4 feet, if that. And I've got a 6-gauge wire with ring terminals just ready to be leveraged here and connected. And there's only 2 terminals currently connected to this one stud on the copper plate. So ABOIC standards say you can have up to 4. So we have room, and that'll be properly grounded. I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to cut this wire, and it's not a long length. That's maybe 2 feet. So we're just going to cut this guy with this nice industrial size cutters. This is 6-gauge wire. Then we will connect 2 lugs. One lug will be this wider gauge, which will connect to the bolt, the terminal bolt of the bronze grounding plate, while the other will be the smaller diameter lug, 1/4 inch, and the 1/4 will connect up on this expansion bus up here in the panel. And this will give us a direct connection to ground. And I just squeeze these down and then pull. And you generally don't want to cut any of the strands of wire because that compromises the amp carrying capacity of the wire. Now you can see this guy's coming off, and there you go. That's a properly stripped 6-gauge wire. We're going to do the same over here. There you go. Again, we're going to pull it off. I'm just doing it a little gingerly again because I want to take care not to cut any of the strands if at all possible. Because again, you're compromising the amp carrying capacity at the terminal. Try to get all the strands in there. And again, I'm going to use a little heat shrink to go over the top of this and cover up that exposed wire there. We'll grab a little heat shrink here, put that over the top of this guy, just like so. And after we crimp it on, we will engage that heat shrink. There you go. And now I'm going to use my crimping tool. I've got this calibrated for 6-gauge wire. This is a nice, real nice solid crimping tool. There we go. And if I try to pull, it doesn't come off. And get this warm and try not to, overheat it. We don't want to damage the insulation. We just want to get that nice and heat shrinked. So this is our 3/8 inch lug. Okay, so again, we're going to crimp this guy. We got it where we want it. Lay the drum in there. Oh. There you go. There we are. Crimped on. Give it some force, make sure it's not slipping. That's good. There we go. We're going to connect that right there. That's tight. But now, just like that, here. That's pretty much it. Okay. I want to thank my subscribers. I really appreciate your support. If you've stayed until the end, I'd really appreciate it if you'd press that like button now. That really helps the channel grow. This is Sailor Art. Thanks for watching.